All right. Hope you've all had a good week trading. And I just thought I would break down a trade that I took today on pound dollar. So it was Friday trade, and yeah, I just want to walk through what I was seeing at the time of the trade and talk about what was going on, what time frames I used, what my forecast was. Basically, just break it down to how the kind of trades that I'm taking myself and showing others how to take with stop loss placement and management points also included. So that's the basis of this video. There's nothing fancy. You don't need to get caught up in abbreviations or some different types of concepts that essentially are just used to overcomplicate things. You're never going to get 100% of your trades correct. You're never going to get 100% of your trades to go to your kind of further away target points without any kind of issues. But people aren't honest and saying that, whereas I'm more than happy to say that. So let me just go back to what was happening. So rather than using the lines for support and resistance, I'm just going to use the highlighter and the brush because it's easier. But the thing is, there are zones anyway. But I use the trend line, a horizontal trend line, to mark things out. So previous day sideways bearish in a bullish kind of market. So I was quite happy to look for a trade. Now, obviously, going on to the 4 hour, we have this area that was broken. So this area here that was broken to the downside, and then we went sideways again, pushed down again, but we were really struggling. This area here is kind of break and retest area on the 4 hour. It was resistance for quite a while. So we started to see this kind of movement yesterday, and there was sells yesterday. You had break and retest, you had a pull back into 1 hour structure resistance in here, and then you got the push. So it's not as if there wasn't any sells, but the 4 hour, you've obviously got this resistance here, right? You've got this resistance, but the thing is, after a candle like this, so after a candle like this on the 13th of May, 6 till 10 a.m., so main volume in the market, why is the next candle not bearish as well? Obviously, you've got this kind of area that people would overcomplicate and say, oh, it's this or that, or order block with imbalance and blah blah blah. No, doesn't matter. You're going to get these kind of stuff in different parts of. Sometimes they're going to hold, other times they're not. You've got to work out when they're going to hold, when it shows momentum, and you don't need to always be first in the market because you're just going to get yourself cut up more than what it's worth. So this is the candle. So I'm like, right, well, this is a typical kind of area that people could be looking for sells from because they're thinking that this area is going to hold and then they're going to push down, which can be the case. But with a strong candle like this, I'm expecting the next 4 hour to be bullish, but I'm aware of the area that I'm in. And then if I start seeing rejection on the 1 hour, etc., then obviously I would then reassess. So let me just go to hide this. So let's go to the 1 hour. So the 1 hour, we had this. So this was the 8 till 9. So then it was another candle. And then it was another candle. Yeah. So we have this tight range on the 1 hour after. I'll just use the brush actually. After a strong impulse, break and retest area. If price is in momentum, then the break and retest area should be respected. We're showing wicks, so then that's lower time frame support. And we've had a bearish candle that is within the structure. So to me, as long as I'm buying low, in terms of this candle, then I'm good. Buying low in that sense is close to the lows of the candle, just simple logical stuff. So we've got strong bullish candle. We're at resistance, yes, that was something that you have to be aware of. You have to be aware of what your opposition could be thinking. So I was like, well, we're showing some kind of rejection. We're at the high, well, not at the highs of the day, but within the structure that created the highs of the day. I'm thinking, right, well, if I get in now, I'm buying low, but I have to be aware of what price does at the highs. So these red lines, now I'll just move to the 1 hour because I've spoken about the 4 hour. These red lines are my management points. So first management point is the structure that created the high of the day. Second management point was the high of the day. Third management point, which was like if the daily was going to be a strong momentum candle in a direction, like obviously price isn't always going to do that. But that was my thoughts, and this was at 10 past 11 in the morning. So as this candle was forming, just as I was about to enter, I entered at 1.4055. So this is what I'm putting into my journal. And I was below the lows of the previous 1 hour. I was at 15-minute structure support. There's nothing fancy going on. It's not like, as I say, there's nothing that's overly complicated, right? So I was like, right, well, if price comes in around here, I set an alert around here. If price comes in around here, then I'm going to enter. And I'm going to enter. I'm quite happy. So 15-minute 50 was coming in. I'm just looking for this impulse, then this is going sideways. I'm looking for the next push, or at least back up to the highs of the resistance. I'm not waiting for over refinement. I'm not trying to be too fancy. I'm just in, and I had my stop loss at 50, 1.4050. So I would like, because the last 1 hour was bearish, I was entering beyond the lows of the last 1 hour. The stop loss was obviously already protected by the lows of the current and the past 1 hour. But the thing is, it was at the start of the new 1 hour. So I just wanted to kind of give it that bit more room. So I put it at 1.4090. So I entered at 1.40555. I put my stop loss at 1.4050. Yeah. First target was the resistance, the target one. Second target was high of the day. Third target was the round number. As I say in the course, in terms of management point, it's always the same. It's always mechanical. I'm not expecting price to go loads in my direction before I can take anything off. So I have to be aware, because you'll see with other videos that I do about trades, not every single time will my trades go to the third management point. Sometimes it's one or two, and then it goes back in the range, and then it's not until later on the day, once I'm out at maybe the rest at break even or whatever, that it's actually then done the main move. Or it might not do the move at all. Like dollar yen, I took long yesterday and it stayed within the range. I got to my take profit one, and then because it was in a 4 hour area, as I spoke about in the video, I was expecting that could be a reversal area, which it was, but it was there for like more than a day. So that's why I'm not really, as long as I know where I am in the market, I don't really mind trading into 4 hour areas, because I know I can be in and out before the market really is affected. Like, for example, here I'm trading into 4 hour resistance that could hold, but I'm in at a buy low area on the 15-minute with enough room to get to my first target and then see what happens. So let's just play on. Goes sideways, bang. Alert goes off, takes some profit off, and that's it. Like, then whenever the 1 hour closed, that I was in, so the 11 till 12, I then moved my stop loss up to the lows of the 1 hour that I entered in on, just to take some pips off of the risk. Then TP2 is hit. I mean, look at the accuracy of the reaction. As I've always said, whenever price makes a new high or a new low of the day, always expect a reaction. Like, it's more of a rarity than the norm to not get a reaction. So always expect one and take your profit. Like, don't be greedy. That's one of the main things that people have issues with. They expect to, with all these people that are saying with ridiculous risks and rewards and saying all this, that it's not always the case. It's not always the case. You have to go with the market. And then price could have easily came back within this range. And it did a retest, stayed about, found more buyers, ranged, and then went up a bit more. And then we eventually hit that round number. So target 1, target 2, target 3, all hit. Now, as I say, you cannot expect that every single trade that you take is going to hit 1, 2, and 3. It's just you want to have 3 management points to do with structure whenever you're entering the trade. You can't blindly just go, right, I'm going to take a 1 to 3 risk to reward, which a lot of people are being taught, and a lot of people are talking about. To me, that's just like, if you're using structure to enter a trade, you have to use structure to manage a trade. You can't just get in a trade and be like, great, I'm going to take a 1 to 3 and ignore what the market's actually telling you. You have to go with what the market's telling you. That's how you enter a trade, so that's how you have to act whenever you're in a trade. The thing is that you don't want to be doing is cutting the trade short before it gets to those kind of management areas, because you're saying about those management areas for a reason. Like, no matter how they get there, if it's wicks or whatever, you have to just stick to your plan. So obviously, took some off at the highs of the day, took some more off, and got around 10% of the original position running still. But that is the trade. There's nothing fancy. It's just simple buying low in the 15 minutes, seeing the 1 hour momentum. It's an impulse, sideways impulse movement up into a clear area that was a round number and 4 hour resistance area that obviously I was part of a strong momentum daily candle, which obviously is always the best candle on the daily to be involved in whenever you're a day trader. Like, that's great. So I just want to keep this video short. This is, if you've liked it, then obviously please like and subscribe to the channel. But I'm also going to be adding this to the course, along with obviously other kind of videos around this topic. And if you've got any other kind of questions, then yeah, I'll look forward to hearing about them in the comments section. Enjoy your weekend, and yeah, I'll look forward to hearing your feedback.